So I just actually wanted to start off by thanking Enterprise. They've been a wonderful partner for us to be able to roll out our resident education piece. We've partnered both by using the toolkit in a box, as well as receiving one of the grants, which was really it helped us kick off our program at Eden. So what we've done since last year, we've done a lot. I think last year when I was at Garrison, we had done the recycling education component, but that was it. So since then, we've actually been able to roll out all 4 components. So we sort of did a new recycling component, we did a water conservation component, energy conservation, and also the healthy living. The recycling, water, and energy we've done at 100% of our portfolio. The healthy living we've done at some pilot sites. That's sort of how we started with all of them. We did pilot sites to see if our teaching tools worked, and then we made tweaks and fixed them so that we could roll it out across the whole portfolio. So for healthy living, we've done pilots, and we'll be rolling it out over the next month or so at 100% of the portfolio. So how we did it, Linda referenced a little bit earlier, we have a green steering committee, and I'm one of the members on there. Not the one who reprimanded our person for driving a big car, by the way. But we do, so we have a green steering committee, and I think the really important thing about our committee is that it's composed of staff at from all different departments. So we have resident services, asset management, property management, and development, and I think that has been critical in our ability to sort of move everything forward across the company. It also poses some challenges, right? Linda also talked about the importance of focus and staying focused on one thing. And when you have people from across the departments, that can be challenging sometimes, the focus part, but I think it's led to a lot of great conversations. So we also created My Green meetings for all 4 of the topics. So we used Enterprise's toolkit in a box, and then we also added some of our own things to it. We added games, some incentives. We created agendas for the staff, so it's basically a very easy packet that people can take and go and educate our residents. We did a lot of resident activities. So one of the things we found is very useful at family sites in particular is if you can get the kids engaged, you can get the parents engaged. So you have kids doing programs on site, and they're very excited to go and share it with their parents, and they're proud of something maybe they can teach their parents. Incentives. I want to talk a little bit about the discussion we were having earlier as far as incentives for the staff and incentives for the residents to participate. I give 2 examples. We have a great partnership with the Boys and Girls Club at 3 of our housing sites in Petaluma, and we were fortunate to get a large grant to do solar installation at one of them, and a component of the grant was also resident education. So we got a group of about 25 or so kids from the Boys and Girls Club to really jump in on the education, and they were going knocking on doors and collecting cans and recyclables and cleaning up their properties and educating. We were installing solar, so they were up there looking at the solar, learning how it works. And the end result was we were able to save, in a relatively short period of time, we saved $13,000 plus. We gave half of that back to the Boys and Girls Club. So they've been able to take the kids and do stuff. So that's a great incentive for the kids to keep up the activity and to keep talking to their parents about it. Another thing we were talking about earlier with the maintenance staff, or the soups, I guess, being really engaged. We have our Green Ninjas, which are our certified staff. And one of our maintenance staff at one of our sites has really gotten interested, and he got certified, and he really didn't know much about this stuff. So he's actually started a whole recycling program at one of his sites where they collect recyclables, they actually turn it in for money, and then they throw a resident party every quarter with that, and they give away incentives to the residents. So that was sparked by our maintenance staff, who then shared it with all of his peers. And that's been a really successful thing for us. And then messaging, we don't just do a training one day on recycling and then, okay, we taught you, you know it, we're done. We're really trying to figure out ways to constantly message how important it is. So through newsletters, through resident meetings, we do tips of the month, green tips of the month, having our staff share things with all of the residents. So constant messaging of what we're trying to teach the residents and why it's important. So I did talk a little bit about this already, but I wanted to focus more because it really is getting to the toolkit. So we created the Green Steering Committee with input from site staff as well. Created these toolkits, and again, it includes the agenda. It's everything you need to run the meeting. So if someone's nervous about facilitating a meeting or doesn't know how, it gives them the tools to do that. So it's got a detailed agenda for the staff to use that has talking points. It has questions you can ask in case you say, does anyone have any questions, and no one raises their hand. It gives them talking points so that they can spark conversations. It gives them tools for interaction, so what games they can play, how they can get residents engaged in the activities, and again, incentives. So we've ordered eat-in water bottles, shopping bags, things that are green, and they have the Eden logo, so it's good marketing, and it's always, people like to get prizes when they come to these meetings, so it's worked really well for us. Let's see. So what we learned. We've learned a lot of things, When you're rolling out a new program, you're gonna make mistakes, and not everything we have done has worked exactly the way we wanted it to. So we've learned simple is really important. We have, talking it to the diversity point, we've got more than 10,000 residents living across our portfolio. We've got family sites, senior sites, special needs sites. We've got all kinds of language, all kinds of abilities, disability, everything. So you can't sort of roll out one tool and expect it to work equally for everyone. So simple is really important. We'd use a lot of pictures, very few words, so that try to make it easier for people to understand. Repetition, again, we talk about it all the time at all of our meetings and all of our newsletters. Buy-in from the staff, buy-in from the residents, really getting all staff at all levels engaged. It's not just me and the Green Steering Committee. It's the maintenance staff, it's the managers, it's the resident services staff, it's our senior leadership, it's everyone needs to be engaged. Partnership is very important. We rely really heavily on partners like Enterprise, but also in every single one of our communities, there are people doing things that are green. Maybe someone can come and be a guest presenter for us. Maybe someone can, we can provide a tour of the local recycling company. So our partners are really important. And then patience. You can't give up if something doesn't work. You have to be patient. And flexibility, that goes to the point you might create a great tool and it might just not work for everyone, so you have to be flexible and you have to be willing to change and willing to adapt whatever tool you are using. So what's next? Linda did talk about some of this. Measurement. I just had a little brief conversation with Dana before we started, and I'm excited to hopefully work with Enterprise on the measurement part. We've done, it's easy to measure if you've reduced garbage pickup once a week or something. That shows that people are recycling better. It's not necessarily as easy, or we haven't gone as far as we need to on who started turning off the water when they brush their teeth, or who started taking shorter showers, or those kinds of things are a little bit harder to measure, so I'm excited to I think you talked about that, and learn all the things we can do for measurement going forward. We did a tour of one of our green retrofitted sites a couple weeks ago, and I talked to one of our seniors, and we're really focusing on water this year. And it's a tough one as far as the incentive goes, because we pay for the water. So why should the resident care how much they're using when they take a shower? I talked to one of our seniors and she's like, of course I care. I heard from the property manager how much you all spend on water. So we're sharing our information with our residents. This is what we spend on water. And she couldn't believe the amount we spent on water. So she puts me to shame. Oops, excuse me. She turns off the water when she shampoos. I don't do that. So it was just very inspiring. This is a resident, she's not necessarily saving off of this effort, but she realized it would help the property that she lives at. She loves where she lives for a very low rent, and she really believes in the effort. So just because we taught her these tools, and she doesn't want us to spend so much money, she made this change. So to me, that's really inspiring. Another thing that is key for us as far as what's next, we do have our Green Ninjas. We have 9 Green Ninjas already trained. We're going to be training more. We've distributed them so they work in all different counties across California. So they're in different regional areas, and we haven't utilized them as much as we need to, I think. So that's a learning thing for us, is how to really engage them more and use them more in rolling out our green education. And then fun, we just have to keep it fun, because if it's not fun, people aren't going to do it. So we're always focusing on new and sort of creative ways to keep our programs fun. Now I do have, I'm not sure how to find that. We have a program called Digital Connectors, which is a youth technology program. And one of the components is the kids in the program who are 14 to 19 make educational videos on different topics that are important to them. And this is a video that I think he's 15 and 16-year-old, I think, made through our Digital Connectors program about water conservation, and I love it. So I thought I would share it with everyone here. So, yay.